And I mean, Curate Group was founded on the thought that you want Malaysians to, like you say, experience the local and good food from Japan, like what you have experienced during your time abroad in Japan. Why do you think it's important to diversify the food culture in our country?
I think it's really important because, you don't want the businesses to be exactly the same. I mean, competition is good, but I don't think we should do the exact same thing. We should always try to innovate from, it can be, let's say, Japanese cuisine, but we have to innovate it a little so that it's different from other restaurants that's already available out there. Competition is not a bad thing, I would say, but we can always try to make it better. We can always try to innovate and basically push Malaysians to be more creative. Like, for example, in Thailand, it's our neighboring country, but their food scene is booming so much that because people there are creative, Like, I would say a little more creative than Malaysians here because, like, let's say, for example, there was a cafe boom in Malaysia and everyone opened the exact same coffee shop, serving the exact same thing. But, you actually have to make it a bit special to draw your customers in. You always have to change, you always have to innovate and make things a little different from others. There's no point copying 100% when you see somebody who does well, right? So I think that Malaysians should try to be a bit more creative and, try to change it up a little so that we can also, as consumers, try something different. Like, as you say, I studied in Japan. So of course, there are things there that's different from Malaysia. And those are the things I want to bring in. So I want Malaysians to be able to try what's new, Not everyone's so privileged and to be able to travel overseas or to live overseas. So I think bringing it back is so important. Like, through experiences, we travel so much. Like, we see good things abroad and we are willing to spend overseas, but people are not willing to spend it in Malaysia because they feel like, the quality is not there or it's not up to par. But I feel like we can train Malaysians to be up to par. We can actually create things that other people can create too overseas. So I think that's really important, yeah.
And how is Curate Group doing that to elevate, I would say, the current dining scene in Malaysia?
So as I say, we always try to change and we try to innovate. We come up with new things. And I think, before the pandemic, of course, I'm not talking about, the situation right now, but before the pandemic, we always, I try to get chefs to collaborate with Curate Group, so when all these chefs, they come in, they actually teach our Malaysians, what to do, like new skills, basically. It's like a school, right? You learn from people who are experienced. So Curate Group aims to bring experienced people from abroad to come in, but to train our local talents. We don't keep them for a long time, so that's why we do collaborations. But they do have the 1-2 weeks of training when they're here. So I feel like our staff and local Malaysians can actually learn from them and to also create something and to also push their creativity to create something new and also to localize it a little with, our taste buds here. So you learn a skill from, let's say, a chef overseas, but you can also localize. So it just pushes them to create and, just be creative and innovative. Yeah. Because in the food scene, you have to also innovate, right? Because if everything is always the same, then people get bored easily. Yeah. And then after that, when you get bored, then people don't come to your place and then, your business won't be successful. So you always have to adapt to change because people just keep getting more and more exposed each day. So you have to also keep up with, the changes in the world and change your business, basically.